and welcome to the Stitchery Sampler Sew-Along. I'm so glad that you'll be joining us. This is the sampler itself here on my lap that we'll be working on for the next couple of weeks, and this is the first block that we'll be working on. So let's get sewing. So today I wanted to talk about fabric placement and to show you the simple piecing steps for block 1 of the Stitchery Sampler block of the month. The original quilt is made entirely out of figs and shirtings, and I'll show you guys that up close again at the end. We used most of the colors from the figs and shirtings lines, and if you're using the official boxed kit, it will have all of the fabrics in this collection that we used in the quilt. So we eliminated the dark blacks and we used the grays, the blues. We eliminated most of the creams. We used the reds, the greens, the oranges, and the yellows. So those are the colors that we focused on in the kit and in the quilt itself. The ones that I would consider to be the strong tones or the strong colors in this group would be the red and the blue. And so as I work on each block, I make sure that those colors are balanced. The other ones read a lot more similar and can be used interchangeably in terms of placement, not really worrying about it very much. So whether you're using a fat quarter bundle or a fat eighth bundle or the kit, those would be the colors that I would recommend that you use if you're trying to mimic the feel exactly of the one that we have. Since we've already made that quilt once, we're going to use my scrap bin, or I'm going to use my scrap bin. And so these are literally fabrics that I pulled out of the scrap bin this morning in order to show you guys the palette. Which way do I turn it? Like that. Okay. So I'm going to use yellows, tans, and grays, very soft ones, variety of reds, oranges, a whole palette of greens, some softer blacks, some scrappy creams, corals, and a variety of blues. I'm going to use Ivory Solid as my background. Just for comparison, the background of the kit is the Chantilly creamy, what I refer to as the creamy white. It's a little bit more ivory creamy white, and the Ivory Solid is kind of that classic creamy background that we use for many of our things. So the feel will be a tiny bit different, although there is a lot of overlap between the two. I just didn't want to do the exact same quilt twice. So I'll be working with this Fig Tree Scrap Rainbow from my bucket. Let me move this out of the way and talk to you guys a little bit about the first block in the sampler. So the first block is called the plus block, and it's a great start because it's a fabulously simple block. We're going to be making 9 of the little pluses, and it's set off by 4 little posts and some simple sashing. So as you can see here, I've cut some of these out so you guys can see. Sometimes it's nice to see it in person. These will be your sashings, just simple rectangles, and then I'm going to use those for the posts. And here are the various components of the little plus block. So this is what it looks like at the beginning, and I love to lay them out like this because it really helps me to see what it's going to look like. So those are your 4 background pieces and your 3 block pieces that we're going to use. Those 3 will get sewn together into a row, and those 3 will get sewn together into a row. And then you're going to press toward the color. Okay? And you're going to do the same thing on this one. And then you're going to sew those 2 to this bar right here. And then when you press that, you're going to press that also to the color. So you're going to, this is what your little plus is going to look like. And you're going to make 9 of those. And then you're going to take your posts and your sashing, and you're going to put the block together. Okay? There's not really anything complicated here for me to show you in terms of on the sewing machine. So really, this is all that you need to start. If you want to read more about my color placement or anything like that, then check out the blog. And if you want to see how other people are doing theirs or colors that they're choosing, then follow us along in the Facebook group called Fig Tree Quilts Friends. Thanks, you guys. I'm so excited to see your samplers evolve over the next couple of weeks. Here is a quick recap of what this block looks like within the quilt. So here are your 9 pluses, your 4 posts, and there are your sashing pieces in between to create your first block. And this is what our original one looks like. Okay? All right, let's get stitching.